Hi, everybody. Okay, so today I'm doing another vlog on my last week of vlogging and everything, and I wanted to talk to you about um, during my marriage series, How's Married Life. I wanted to talk to you about nagging and just simple stuff about don't nag. And I know you're probably thinking, well, why would you say that? Why would you say don't? Because nagging doesn't work. Nagging is annoying. It's counterproductive. Usually, you don't get what it is that you want, and from nagging. And so, I want to talk about the difference between nagging and expressing your needs, which is a much better way to get the things that you want. And usually, when it comes to nagging, sometimes it's big things that people nag about, and then sometimes it's little things that people nag about. But little things can turn very big when it comes to nagging. You can have a situation turn really bad and really big and really go over the top when it comes to nagging, and stuff. Make something that was really little way bigger than it ever should have been. And I'm going to tell you why nagging doesn't work and why I'm not a nagger, never been a nagger, don't believe in nagging. I think it's like the worst thing ever when people nag people. And I personally find it annoying and offensive and stuff. I don't like it it because it makes because it makes the other person feel small. When I say small, I mean childlike, and most grown people don't want to be treated like children, and stuff. And so if you know somebody that's a nag, I suggest that you tell them, stop nagging, and maybe you'll give them some of the reasons here. And if you are a nag, I would suggest that you not do it because you're not going to get what you want. And I'm sure you already know that. The thing is, when we use stuff and it doesn't work, I'm not really sure why we continue to use the same thing and think somehow it's going to magically work. And maybe that nagging makes you feel good because you get to, vent for a second. But really, the end result, the small time that you maybe feel good because you can tell them like it is, you can tell them whatever, is not worth all the long, drawn out drama of someone being upset, angry, bitter, resentful towards you, and stuff. So, ladies, I would suggest that you don't nag and stuff. And I'm going to tell you, nagging is useless, and usually because it doesn't work because the person just really just doesn't listen to you. You may get, for the first few minutes or so, you may get somebody to do what it is that you want them to do, but it won't be this kind of continuous thing. It won't be anything, and it won't bring you closer. It won't help your marriage. It just creates havoc when you nag. And pretty much every expert, marriage expert I've ever seen, heard, whatever, all says the same thing. Nagging doesn't work for that particular reason. What will happen is, in a nagging relationship or a nagging marriage, what happens is the people turns into a parent-child relationship, where one spouse is acting as the parent and the other is acting as the child. And believe me, both spouses hate the roles that they're in, but they think that that's just how it is. That's how it's going to be. This person is always nagging me, so I'm always going to get treated like a kid. Well, this person can't really ever do anything right, so I have to nag them. And it's not like that. It doesn't have to be like that. You can just have the roles of husband and wife, partnership, and stuff really easily if you express your needs correctly. Because really, nagging is just needs, just done in a really bad way, and stuff. People have needs, and we all have needs in a relationship. We all have needs in a marriage and stuff, and to get those things that you need, you have to express them correctly. There's great ways to not have to nag people and to get what you want. Now, I've seen women nagging men everywhere. I've witnessed friends of mine nagging their husbands and stuff, which I just was uncomfortable with and stuff, because I don't want to see people having those kind of battles. And the poor man is sitting over there. I've seen people out in public nagging folks and stuff, and it seems humiliating to me and stuff. What you want is to get some needs met and stuff. That's the real thing. And how do you get needs met? There's a better way to express your needs than to just nag somebody and moan and groan about, you never do this, you never do that, you always do this, or you should have did that, and all this stuff where, you and stuff. And it's coming from not the you to the I and what it is that you need. Because what you really want is for your spouse to hold you in some compassion, to be compassionate towards you and your needs. That's what you want. But when you're fussing with them and treating them like a child, they're not going to be compassionate. They're just going to usually be rebellious and angry, and stuff. Even if they don't express it. But if they do, it'll just be angry, bitter fighting and stuff. What you want is compassion. What you want is for someone to really feel some of your pain and stuff that you may be having. And it could be something as simple as somebody, say something like your husband, every time he gets out of the shower, he towels off and drops the towel on the floor. He doesn't pick it up and he doesn't put it on the towel bar, and stuff, or he doesn't put it in a laundry hamper. And believe me, I'm not saying this is anything my husband does, because he doesn't. He puts his on the towel bar, which is great. You're awesome, honey, and stuff. But he doesn't. And so you're getting angry because every time you come in there's some stinky, moldy towel in there and stuff. And you're getting angry. You find yourself getting angrier and angrier about this. And so you go in and you say, every time I come in this bathroom, there's always your stinky towel on the floor. I'm just so sick of it. I'm just sick of you. I'm just sick of you just always putting that towel on the floor. Just hang it up. That's all you. Well, really, probably the other person is just hearing, you're a bad person. You're just a bad person because you leave a towel on the floor. How awful. Look how awful you are because you leave this towel on the floor and stuff. Do you really want that person to hear that? Because that's all they're hearing when you're nagging and stuff. What would probably be a better way to do that is to say, honey, when I come into the bathroom and I see that you leave your towel on the floor, it makes me feel, and say whatever it makes you feel. It makes me feel neglected. It makes me feel taken for granted, and stuff, and that sort of stuff. Now, I'm just doing this a towel thing as an example, but this can be used in anything, because what you want is your partner's compassion, not your partner's anger and resentment. You want their compassion. And so to get the thing and to get your needs met, because that's all it is. Nagging is just needs, okay? And you just haven't figured out how to express them correctly and stuff, But to get that to happen it's better to have that happen than have this naggy thing happen, and stuff. And so when I have needs that need to be met, and my husband can't meet all of my needs and stuff, but there's some needs that he can't. And when I have needs that need to be met, I want my husband's compassion. I want his cooperation in doing this. So I come from this makes me feel and stuff. It's not to guilt the person and stuff, but it's just to let them know how you feel when they do something that you find hurtful to you and stuff, And, people, it's not like people are doing stuff purposefully. It's not like spouses are doing stuff purposefully. I don't purposefully try to hurt my husband, but I know there are sometimes things that I might do that might hurt him. But so if he comes to me as, I feel, Jeannie, when you do such and such, this is how I feel. And then I think, you know what? I don't want to hurt my husband. I don't want him to feel bad, and I don't want to do things that would hurt him. So that means I'm going to have to change some part of my behavior, not to hurt him. Maybe I don't need to do this. It's not stuff. It's not. Usually people aren't asking for stuff that's impossible for people to do, unless you're just stubborn and don't want to do nothing. Usually people are just asking for things that wouldn't hurt them or wouldn't hurt you and your marriage, and stuff. And I know people come into all this when they date. Oh, I don't want to change. I don't have to change. Listen, to be in a relationship, you're going to have to change some things about yourself. You don't have to do a total 180 and be somebody else, but you are going to have to change some things about yourself, because there's another person here whose feelings and concerns matter. And as much as we want other people to change, and stuff, we're so reticent to change a few things about ourselves. Now, you can't change everything about the person. If there's some stuff about people that you just can't really stand, then don't think you're going to come in and change all this stuff and make them into who you want them to be. That's not really possible, and stuff. But there are things that people do and need to do as a partnership in a marriage that sometimes if you don't express how you feel about so and so doing such and such, it just turns into battle royale, and stuff. It turns into complete beyond Thunderdome, and stuff. And really about little stuff that could be resolved if people would just express their needs and stuff instead of trying to not express them or expressing them in unhealthy ways where they won't get met. Because usually what happens is when you nag people, usually what they do is just keep doing what you don't want them to do. Usually, sometimes just to annoy you, and stuff. So you don't want that. You'd rather have a change than have this sort of thing where this person is doing stuff begrudgingly and stuff that they really don't want to do, and you end up with a bunch of bitterness and resentment, and that's not what you want. You want people to be free to make those choices, and stuff. And sometimes maybe people even explain to you why they do things the way that they do so you can understand better. Maybe they really don't need to make a change and stuff. Maybe you need to adjust some of the things that you're thinking about. When I first met my husband, he was a smoker. I don't really have anything bad or whatever about smokers. Don't matter to me and stuff. He didn't really smoke in the house, but he was a smoker and stuff. I never nagged him about not smoking. And I would have preferred that he not smoke, but I never nagged him about not smoking. That wasn't going to do anything. He had smoked for a long time, and his family nagged him about not smoking. And I always thought, you know what? He's never going to stop smoking with y'all nagging him and all this stuff about not smoking. I don't nag my husband about anything. I don't nag him about losing weight. I don't nag him about not smoking. What happened was before we got married, he was like, I really want to stop smoking, and stuff. I really would like to go into our marriage and not be smoking and everything. And I think you'd really like that. And I said, I think that's great, and stuff. I just did positive reinforcement. I think that's great, babe, and stuff. And I'll support you in every way known to man and stuff. And I did. And he stopped smoking. People do stuff because they love you. And the reason he stopped smoking was not just for himself, was because, well, I have this woman I love, and I don't want to have cancer, and I don't want to be a cancer patient, and I really love her, and I want us to live a long, happy life together. So, hey, I need to stop smoking. And so he did just that. He stopped smoking. I didn't have to nag him. I didn't have to do anything. Listen, when people are doing things that aren't good for them, they already know it. It's not like smokers don't know they're already going to get cancer. They already know it. Okay? It's not like people who are doing bad stuff or making mistakes. It's not like they don't know. They know. Okay? And so if they've done something that's not exactly the best thing ever, the best thing you can do is just try to say, hey, I support you. I support you in any change. I support you in whatever you do, and stuff. Oh, well, we need to there are needs that I have that need to be met that I'd like for you to, help with and all this stuff. Hey, we need to get the bills done on time. So we make sure that things aren't turned off, and all. It's just stuff. It's just simple stuff. But most of the time we go into this big kind of, you're a bad person because, and then you just get something you don't want, and stuff. My husband and I have just a certain amount of time to be together, and stuff. We both got married late, and stuff. This marriage was a later one. This is my second marriage, his first, but it was a later. And so do I really want to spend all my time nagging, moaning, and complaining with my husband and not enjoying the love and the friendship and the fun that we have? If I just let him know what my needs are, he can make sure, hey, if that's something that he can meet, he'll make sure to do it. If he just lets me know what his needs are, hey, I don't have any problem with that. I don't want to hurt my husband. I don't want him to be upset, and stuff. And so when we express our needs in a correct manner, not through nagging and stuff, then we make sure that those needs get met. that we see each other in a compassionate way, and stuff. That we're not arguing and fighting, because somebody doesn't want to be treated like a little kid and somebody thinks you deserve to be treated like a little kid. It's not like that, and stuff. It comes back to us having the compassion and love for one another. Is it something bad about fighting? No, there's nothing bad about arguing. There's correct ways to do arguments. But nagging is not a part of an argument. Nagging is just people not knowing how to express their needs correctly and stuff. And what you need to do is to be expressing your needs. It's okay to have them. It's okay to have a need not to feel taken advantage of. It's okay to have a need to feel safe and secure in your marriage and stuff. And so if people are doing things, and they may not even know they're doing them, that make that not possible, then you need to express that, but not in the incorrect way. So you could have a fight about the towel thing all day long and stuff, and at the end, not get any of your needs met, and not even remember what you were fighting about, but everybody's huffy, puffy, and mad for days, and stuff. What use is that? What a waste of time. What a waste of energy. When you could have just said what you needed and stuff. You could have just said what you felt about this situation to get your needs met. Because those needs are usually not this thing about even the towel. It's some emotional thing that sometimes we have, and stuff. There's lots of stuff that I don't even worry about. I pick my battles with my husband very carefully. There's stuff that he does that I could even just care less. Now, if there are things that need to be said, I say them. But there's other stuff that's like, for real, why would I argue about that? That's not even, no, that's just whatever. And stuff, He drops his pants and his shirt on the floor next to the bed every night. That's what he does and stuff. It's not enough. A bunch of people would have a fit and just fall out, in the middle of the street. But it's not enough for me to do that, and stuff. That's not some crime punishable by death, and stuff. And there's some things you're just going to have to compromise on and figure out how to compromise on. And that's one of the compromises. Even though, hey, that may not be the best thing in the whole wide world. It would be better if he picked up his pants. But you know what? I'm not going to argue with anybody about that, and stuff. And that's not some overwhelming need that I need to have met, and stuff. So stop the nagging and make sure you're getting your needs met, because nagging's not going to get them met. Usually nagging's just going to make the situation, a bad situation, even worse and stuff, and you just end up fighting, and having this long parent-child relationship that ends up with anger and resentment and bitterness on both sides and stuff. And that's not what you want. You want to start this off. Remember, the way you want to end it. You want to start off your marriage the way you want to end it. So you want to come to the other person, and you want them to come to you with compassion for what it is that you're feeling, and stuff. You want to have that compassion and love. You want the grace-filled marriage. That's what I'm trying to get, is to move and work toward having a grace-filled marriage where I show my husband compassion, and stuff, where I love him with compassion, where I don't fuss at him about silly stuff, and stuff, and where I ask him to, if there are needs that aren't being met, that I express those to him without making him feel bad about himself, and stuff, and to let him know, hey, this is the way I feel about this and stuff, and we can discuss it and we can talk about it and everything, and then make sure that, hey, this is a need that I can meet, or maybe this is something we have to compromise on, or whatever it is, and stuff, because there's lots of stuff I have to do, needs I have to meet for myself. I don't ask my husband to do everything when it comes to meeting my needs. But there are some things that certainly he can contribute to, and I ask him to contribute to those. He does the same thing for me. I'm not resentful, and I don't feel bad about that. I'm happy that my husband comes to me in a loving way where I can show compassion and love for him. That's the best thing for us in our marriage. So I'm just going to tell you, if you're nagging, really, you're not nagging. You're just trying to figure out how to get needs met that you don't know how to correctly express. I say try some of the stuff that I've suggested in here. You may have a little tweaking here or there. All couples are a little different and stuff, but it'll work, and it'll make things a lot easier and a lot better. If you have a loving marriage, and stuff, I'm quite sure your spouse wants to be compassionate to you. So why don't you give them a chance to do so? Okay, guys. Well, that's it for today, and I'll see you all later. Bye.